everybody, it's Christy back with another video. So today we're going to do something a little different on the channel. I have a Daniel Smith palette of paints, as you all know if you've been around for a while, that I really love. But I am constantly trying to think about the last couple spots in it and what colors I want and what I want to do. And so I look at paints all the time online and think, which ones do I want to get? So instead of blind buying paints, I decided that I was going to get the Daniel Smith Ultimate Dot Card with all the paint colors on it. And that we would go through and swatch those just right on here. I'm just going to go ahead and color them out right on here so I can look at them and decide what we're going to do to finish out my palette. Plus it'll give you a chance to kind of check out this 238 color dot card and see what's what from the company Daniel Smith, who, again, I really do like their paints. So let's go ahead and first open it up. I just pretty much got it in the mail and brought it up here. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in here. And I can't look at that glare anymore. I'm sure that wasn't pleasant for you. Alright, I'm going to leave that in there. Alright, so we've got these colors here, which look to be yellows and oranges, reds, and some purples. Then we've got more cooler purples, blues, and greens. Then it looks like a page of earth tones. Maybe some of the granulating ones are on here. Yeah, this looks more like the page of granulation. And then this one is, there's some blacks, some more whites, and then some iridescent, some shiny colors. So we're going to get a chance to kind of look at them all and see what's what. Here it just tells you a little bit more about Daniel Smith. They have watercolors, half pans, pigment sticks. Oh, and then it's got like a big swatch telling us what's what. Okay, for the Primatech luminescent line. Hand poured half pans, it tells you what colors are. Oh, good. It tells you what colors are in which sets. That's super useful information if I am interested in buying some of these and I want more than one. Yeah, so that's cool information to have. This was a really good deal. I got this on Amazon. I will put a link in the description below. And I'm just going to go ahead and time-lapse the swatches, and you can sit back, enjoy some music, and watch some paint swatching. We'll see you after I swatch. Bye for now. Well, that was fun. So I enjoyed swatching all of these out. It was really fun to see the entire Daniel Smith line put out in front of me. It was interesting to see who was easier to reactivate and who wasn't. And it was interesting to see the granulation qualities of certain paints. So I've made a few cool decisions about what I'm going to do. Let me first talk through what I have in my current Daniel Smith palette and how I am planning to change that. So I really like this palette, but I do feel like there are a couple of areas that need work. First of all, I have both Lunar Black and Mars Black in this palette just because I had space for them. I prefer, or not Mars Black, I have it written down. I think it's Lamp Black, yes. So I put stars next to everything I own. So I have Lunar Black and Lamp Black. The Lamp Black is non-granulating, and when I want a black paint in this scenario, I usually do not want a granulating paint, so I am much more likely to use the Lamp Black than the Lunar Black. So I'm going to take the Lunar Black out. And with taking that out, I'm going to rearrange a few things. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I am going to refill this Quin Sienna because it's very low. So that, I think, is, yeah, that is the quinacridone Sienna that I have right here. I just don't have much of it, and I really love that color. That's like one of my favorite Daniel Smith colors. And with fall, like it's summer right now, but with summer and fall coming up, I'm going to be using a lot more orange, so I definitely want to re-up that color. This Mayan orange was a bad purchase for me. It's like it's not an orange like I thought, so I'm going to replace it with Cad Orange Hue. I really think that'll be better for my particular style of palette. So that's going to be on this side of the palette, and then I will move the black over there, my Lamp Black. I'm going to shift all of these down one because I want to add a green as well to this palette, and I'm going to replace a green. So on this side, what I currently, let me finish talking about what I have over here. So this is Pyrrole Scarlet. This is Quinacridone Rose. When I run out of Quinacridone Rose, I may trade it out for either Rose Madder Permanent or Quinacridone Pink. But Rose Madder Permanent has a better rating. I like the light fast rating on that. Opera Pink is fugitive, but it is beautiful. But it's fugitive, so I won't put it in my palette. But so I am thinking about the Rose Madder Permanent is a pretty color. I think I really like that. This is Quinacridone Violet. I really like that color. Although I also really like Mayan Violet and Permanent Violet. So who knows, in the future I might trade that one out too. But for now, that's what I have. This is it's Imperial Purple. I really wish that Winsor & Newton had a dioxazine purple, because I love dioxazine purple. But the Imperial Purple isn't bad. I'm going to use what I have, and then I'm either going to replace that with probably the Carbazole Violet. I really like that. It's a nice deep purple similar to a dioxazine violet, so I think that's what I will eventually replace it with. This is why having this whole palette in front of me is really great, because I can kind of compare what I have with what I need. Alright, so that is the warm-ish side of the palette. Now let's talk about the cooler side of the palette. So I've got Sap Green, this is Hooker's Green, I have Cobalt Teal Blue, this is Phthalo Blue, but it's the blue shade, or green shade, Phthalo Blue green shade, French Ultramarine, Prussian Blue, Payne's Gray, Burnt Sienna, Van Dyke Brown, and then my Lamp Black. So I'm going to move everybody down one and add a green here. I'm also going to trade out Hooker's Green. This Hooker's Green is nice, but it is kind of tending towards more of a yellow green, and I think I want blue shade Phthalo Green here, because I just think it will give me more richer greens. I tend to constantly try to mix something from the Hooker's Green that I have a hard time getting. So I'm going to try that. And then I'm going to add Perling Green to this palette. I love this color that you can get, and you can get it by mixing, but it's just a really pretty deep green, and so it'll just give my greens more variety. And then I'm going to keep my Sap Green because I like it. So with those three, a very cool green, a very warm green, and then this nice deep green, I feel like I will have a more rounded out green palette for landscapes and things like that. I'm going to keep all my blues. I know that not everybody uses Prussian blue anymore, but I really love Daniel Smith's Prussian blue. I think it's a really beautiful color. And I love the green shade phthalo. The cobalt teal is kind of just a fun color, but this one is pretty good. I use it quite a bit. I just refilled it recently, but I do really like that color for certain things. And then I like having a burnt umber and a Van Dyke brown. Those are good browns for me. And I like the Payne's gray. I looked at, there's two Payne's gray, so hold on, let me flip to the Payne's gray piece here. There are two Payne's grays. There's a Payne's blue gray and a Payne's gray. I honestly don't see much of a difference. I do really like the Payne's gray, and oh, I guess this one doesn't granulate, so I guess that's the difference. The Payne's blue gray doesn't granulate. It might have a little more blue in it, but they look very similar to me, and I don't mind the granulation. It's not terribly heavy granulation for that Payne's gray, so it's good. So that's what I have. Then in terms of other things that I think are neat in here, I definitely want to put together a granulating Daniel Smith palette. So I am looking into some of the Primatech paints here and some of the other paints that I found interesting overall. I'll show you some of those here in a minute. Before I do that, though, I am going to talk about the metallic paints here. These metallic paints are really pretty. They're really nice. I have about 12 metallic paint sets already. I really like my Yuli watercolors. I like my KMS watercolors, which are all handmade. And so I don't really see myself buying too much from this line right now, but I really like a lot of them. I do have iridescent gold and interference silver, which isn't on here, and the pearlescent white. Those are the three Daniel Smith like shiny colors that I have, and I do really like them. They're just convenient for some of my other palettes. So let's go back and talk a little bit about some of the granulating paints that I think I might pick up. So first of all, I have Van Dyke Brown, which is pretty granulating. I can see that here. This Payne's Gray is granulating. On the first page, I think I am going to pick up a Nickel Titanate Yellow because that is a famously granulating yellow. And I'm excited to see what happens with that. I would like to play with it. I also might pick up one of the cobalts, either Cobalt Violet or Cobalt Violet Deep, because they were both really hard to re-wet, but they do have these really pretty granulations, if you want to look there and see. So I am excited to maybe try playing with those. Maybe the Mayan Red, which is granulating. I know I just to have a couple of primaries in there. I definitely want this Moon Glow. Oops, I can't. There it is. See how it's like got different colors going on there? I really want to play with that. People really like that paint. I want to try Mayan Blue Genuine. That one looks really pretty and just like a gorgeous color, so I would like to try that one. I want to try the Jadeite Genuine. I think that looks like a really fun, and it's a Primatech color. It doesn't look like it has a lot of granulation here, but that's because I colored it out pretty heavily. The Cobalt Teal has a nice granulation too, so I'll probably, if I do make a granulating Daniel Smith palette, I'll probably throw that in there. I have Sodalite Genuine in a stick, so I might throw that. That's a Primatech color, so I might throw that in my palette just because I have it. I'm going to have to play once I get all of these here if I do end up doing this. And then on this page, I think I picked up, or I'm going to pick up, maybe the Hematite Violet. That has that was really neat granulation. I really want to see what that one can do. Because the genuine Hematite's pretty cool too, but I already have Lunar Black? Which one? Lunar Black. I have Lunar Black. So Lunar Black is already pretty granulating, so I don't really need another, like, that's almost like a black type granulation color. Let's see. And then I'm either Yellow Ochre, which is granulating, or is there another color here that is similar to that? I think at one point I was looking at the Mars Yellow. Those two. One of those is probably going to be a pickup for like a nice earthy color. I do have, like I said, Quin Sienna, and that also is supposedly granulating. So I might pick up some of these and just play with them and kind of see what happens. But I am really excited to go on this journey with some more Daniel Smith paints and kind of share with you what I find as I go along. So the next time that we talk, I will fill this palette and give you an update and maybe talk about what I decided to do and whether or not I took the leap into making a granulating palette. This is just as a disclaimer, I am an art hobbyist. This is just something I do for fun. So I can definitely think of many other watercolor channels you might want to watch that'll talk more about pigment information and light fast information. And I am not that channel. I'm just kind of telling you from my own personal experiences what I like, what I don't like, and what I'm trying to do with my own personal Daniel Smith palette that I do use a ton. So if you have Daniel Smith paints accessible, if you're in the US, you do have them accessible at a lot of places. Hopefully this look into the colors and the names and what's out there was helpful to you. I will link the dot card that I bought below on Amazon. I think it was like $23. And one tube of 15 milliliter Daniel Smith paint is no less than about $10 anywhere. And so before you buy, it really might be a good idea to play with the colors and kind of see what you like. I can definitely still get a ton of paint off of this and definitely do a lot of pieces. So let me know in the comments below, do you want to see me do a piece with all of these colors? That might be a fun challenge. And would you like to know how my palette turns out and my thoughts when the other paints come in? Let me know in the comments below, and hopefully this will inspire you to pull out whatever paint set you have today and play with it a little bit more. So that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you learned something and you were inspired to make some artsy bits yourself. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.